Greetings all. So I thought I'd just put a little tutorial together for you guys. A lot of you are already going to know some of the tricks and tips that I'm going to show you here, but this is mainly for beginners, newbies, people who don't know. Can be a bit frustrating for people who are new to this, seeing people's builds but not actually quite knowing how they did it. So yeah, just thought I'd share a few of my ideas. So the first thing I want to talk about is concealing conduits and cables. In some cases here, I mean, yeah, as some of you know, I like to build a lot of these barges, ships. Yeah, like in this case, my private general's Minutemen barge. With a lot of items being exposed on these, it's going to be impossible to conceal every single wire or cable, but you can still keep them neat. In saying that, when you're thinking about barges, ships, it is quite normal to see cables, guy ropes, that sort of thing exposed, so it doesn't really bother me that much. However, with buildings and player homes, look, I think just because this is a post-apocalyptic world, we don't really have to have wires and electrical hazards everywhere. So, yeah, try to keep it pretty neat. If you remember from my last video, my player home, yeah, you'd see that can't really see any cables or wires anywhere. That's because they're all hidden under the floor, in the walls and such. I like to try to keep my builds fairly neat. Yeah, so just going to sort of show you how I've done it. So yeah, looking at the barge, you'd see that it has its own fusion generator on here, but my player home here, all of the power comes from this dilapidated tugboat here, which has its own generator in there. When you free up the workshop on this island, it just automatically comes with it. I think it gives you 20 power. Yep, 20 power there. All of these cables are already exposed when you come to the island, and they run all the way up to that workbench on the hill there. Obviously, when you come here, all of these cables are, yeah, they're sort of connected to trees with conduits, posts and such, and yeah, they're all sort of like overhead cables, looking quite unsightly, bit of a mess. So yeah, I decided to bury them all with these steel posts here. Now, for some reason, yeah, the conduits that are already on this island, if you reuse them like I did, they'll sort of have this crooked, wonky effect. Not sure why that happens, but it doesn't really bother me too much because you can't see them. Yeah, running all the way up to this this workbench here. There's another one there. And I've just buried them all under the ground. So we'll come down here, and yeah, I've set up a bit of a demonstration area for you guys, just to show you how I do this. You'll recognise a lot of these items from the workshop there. All right, so we'll start with this this generator here. Go over to the warehouse option in the workshop. Grab a couple of these steel posts here. Might grab something to put a light onto as well. These concrete walls will do nicely. Go to the power menu. A couple of conduits. Put them onto these posts, roughly about there. So we've got plenty of room to sink these posts. Another one there. We'll put one on this wall as well. Just one of these industrial wall lights will be fine. Now we'll run a cable from here to there. There. Another one from here to there. As you can see, the wall light is coming on. It's fully operational now. And we just sink these into the ground. And no more cable. Fully buried. We can even bury this concrete wall in this case. And we've totally concealed that cable. Yeah, industrial wall light, fully operational, powered by this generator all the way over here. And most of the cable's hidden. So another way to do this is we can put another conduit onto this floor if you're using these floors in your settlements or player home. Another great way to conceal these conduits, cables. Simply spin that around and we've just concealed that conduit and cable. So yeah, neat little trick for those of you who don't know about it. Now, if you remember from my last video, yeah, my player home there, told you that I actually fused one of these cabinets or counters into this stove. Yeah, I don't like the door on it. I think it looks quite unsightly. So how I've done this is, yeah, rug glitch, which is a pretty common trick in this game. However, there are a few different ways of doing it. In this case, I've used two of these floor mats. Now, I like using these rubber floor mats. I just think they're nice and square, and I don't know, I just like using them, but you can use any of the floor mats in the workshop. Yeah, the smaller floor mats obviously are ideal to use. So we'll just drag this counter over here until it comes up onto this floor mat, raises up a bit. Now the reason why I'm using two of these floor mats is if you just use one, it won't reach, as you can see there. So I'm using two of them. As you can see now, we get a better reach with that. Just want to cover that ugly door up a bit, bring it out to here roughly. Now, the trick to this is you want to scrap or store this floor mat in your workshop before this one. If you store this one first, this mat will sink into the floor and you won't be able to get it back. In some cases, it will remain visible, but in that case, you'll have to scrap or store that one as well, and this will sink way too low. Also, you want to fuse the counter into the stove, not the other way around. As you can see, the stove is higher, the counter is higher than the stove. If you try to put the stove into the counter, it will sink too low and you won't even see it. So, yeah, you want to put the counter into the stove, as I'm doing here. So again, roughly about there, we just want to cover that door up a bit. We'll get rid of this floor mat first, and this one last. And there you go. Sinks quite nicely around that stove. I mean, obviously it's a bit crooked, but yeah, I'm just trying not to be too OCD because it's a tutorial, just showing you guys how it's done. Obviously, you want to straighten that up a bit first. Now, I also showed you the wood heater that I created in my player home. How I did this was, again, two of these rubber floor mats. One there, another one up a bit, and on top of it, again, I'm using two of these mats. Now, again, we don't want to put the fire barrel into the shelving. We want to put the shelving into the fire barrel. And how we do this is basically, yep, again, same thing again, drag that onto the floor mat. Try and get that roughly in there so it looks pretty neat, pretty tidy, straight. Obviously, again, I'm trying not to waste too much time being fussy, OCD. Again, get rid of this floor mat first, this one second. And there we go. So we want to put this thing on top, make it look like a flue or a chimney. Obviously, these things won't sit on anything but a floor or the ground, so we're going to have to use a pillar glitch for this. Again, we can go over to the warehouse menu. Now, look, you can use a wooden post from the barn menu if you want. Doesn't really matter. I just prefer to use these. We want to get it fairly close to there. Try and get this as straight as you can as well. Now, a lot of you are going to say, yeah, we already know this, but again, this is for beginners. Hold that X button down, or if you're on the Xbox or something, I think it's, yeah, whichever one the bottom button is. Yeah, you just want to, I think it might be the Y button on the Xbox, or I'm not 100% sure. The Xbox, no, it's actually the A button on the Xbox, I think it is. So I'm actually using the PlayStation 5 here. In this case, it's the X button. So yeah, hold that down until both of the items turn green. And you've just let the workshop know that you're creating two items out of one here. I think we might just need to come back a little bit more. Yep, same thing again. Now, if you're using a wooden floor, you're going to have to get this shelving at the right height, and it might take a couple of goes to do it. But if you're using a concrete floor like I am in this case, it will actually sink into there, and you can basically just get it whichever height you want. There you go. So yeah, roughly on top of there. Try to, like I said, it might take a couple of goes, but there you go. Depending on how high your ceiling is, you might have to use a couple of these, or maybe another one of these on top. Bit of trial and error. Now, obviously, if you come around the back here, yeah, you're going to see all of these shelves still, but obviously you're going to have it against the wall or something like that. I find the concrete walls pretty good to use for this, and yeah, purely because it will snap into a pillar or another wall, so you can sort of cover it up a little bit, the back of it. So what we'll do is we'll snap this to that, move this out of the way, and bring this forward a little bit. Not too much, we just want it to sort of just be enough just to cover this up a little bit. Wonder if it'll snap from there. No, a little bit too close. Go back a bit more. There we go. Yep. So yeah, it sort of covers that up a bit. I mean, look, obviously, yeah, you can be a little bit more OCD, a bit fussier with that. Obviously, the straighter that you get this on there, the less of this you're going to see at the back. But yeah, that's how I do it. And so there you go. Hoping to make a few more of these tutorials in the future, a few more little ideas about concealing these conduits, wires. I think in my next build, I might tackle the castle. As I said in my last video, in my playthrough here, the Minutemen are a maritime faction, so I'm going to be concentrating on settlements like Kingsport Lighthouse, the castle, Nordhagen Beach, that have access to water, the beach for shipping, a few more barges, etc. Look, if you enjoyed the video, if you found it useful, please like and subscribe, and thanks for watching.